Level 1, the lube tech. Your career starts at the absolute bottom in a noisy quick lube shop. You are armed with basic wrenches and major anxiety. Every day is a battle against hot exhausts and cross-threaded drain plugs. You quickly realize this job is much dirtier than video games. You spend days fighting seized oil filters on neglected Nissan Altimas. Customers stare through the glass, convinced you are scamming them. You burn your arms on catalytic converters so often it becomes normal. It feels like punishment, but you're learning the language of cars. Senior mechanics ignore you and throw you the absolute worst jobs. You spend hours scraping toxic sludge off a Honda Civic oil pan. You constantly drop your 10mm socket into the dark engine bay. Yet doing your first solo brake job feels amazing. Your paycheck is tiny, and your back already hurts. You go home smelling like used oil and cheap fast food. Most people quit here to find a comfortable office job, but you stay, completely hooked on the loud chaos of the garage. Level 2, the parts replacer. You get your own bay and officially graduate from lube tech. To celebrate, you make a terrible financial decision. You take a massive loan for a shiny Snap-on toolbox. You organize your expensive ratchets, feeling like a total professional. Your confidence is destroyed by a 2006 Ford F-150 with a 5.4-liter Triton. You try to change the spark plugs, and the first one snaps in half. A simple 2-hour job instantly turns into a multi-day nightmare. The senior techs just laugh at your misery. You learn that every car brand has its own cruel torture. You fight completely rusted suspension bolts on old Chevy Silverados. You experience the frustration of removing an entire dashboard just to change a heater core. You are now fighting a war against bad engineering. Despite the struggles, your mechanical intuition sharpens daily. You stop blindly replacing parts and start understanding the mechanical systems. You buy a decent impact gun and feel like Thor. The work is brutal, but you finally earn respect. Level 3, the European masochist. You switch to European luxury cars because the labor rates are higher. You quickly discover why German engineering is universally feared. Replacing a simple alternator on an Audi A4 requires removing the entire front bumper. They call it the service position, but it's just cruel. You become intimately familiar with BMW N63 twin-turbo V8 engine failures. You spend countless hours replacing leaking valve stem seals. Your workbench is covered in dozens of highly specific, expensive timing tools. A simple oil leak now means disassembling half the car. The sheer complexity of these machines tests your daily patience. You fight Volkswagen 2.0 T-timing chain tensioners that randomly destroy engines. You constantly curse the engineers who put critical sensors in impossible places. Yet, finishing these massive jobs gives you technical superiority. You develop a toxic love-hate relationship with European cars. You complain endlessly, but secretly love solving the massive puzzle. You no longer fear complex engine teardowns. You have officially evolved into a genuine automotive surgeon. Level 4, the diagnostic wizard. Your hands are finally clean. You spend most of your day holding a laptop instead of a wrench. You are the diagnostic master tech, the guy everyone calls when they are stuck. You read live data, analyze fuel trims, and monitor network signals. You tackle random, intermittent electrical gremlins on a daily basis. You spend 3 days tracking a massive parasitic battery draw on a Range Rover. You find the short circuit in a single corroded wire hidden in the tailgate. Fixing it makes you feel like a genius hacker. Younger mechanics think you practice dark magic with your oscilloscope. You look at a squiggly line and immediately identify a bad ignition coil. Mechanical failures don't scare you, but a bad ground wire can still ruin your week. You charge heavily because you sell your brain. The job is no longer physically exhausting, but mentally draining. You sit in quiet cars drinking espresso and reading complex wiring diagrams. You diagnose the problems that 3 other shops couldn't figure out. You are the final defense before a car goes to the scrapyard. Level 5, the independent shop owner. You take the ultimate risk and open your own repair shop. You thought you'd be the boss, but you actually work for the customers. Your biggest headache is explaining basic physics to angry people. You stare at a destroyed Subaru head gasket while they claim it just started yesterday. You constantly deal with clients who diagnose their cars using Google. They bring in cheap eBay parts and demand free installation. You kindly explain why a $30 sensor won't fix their Mercedes transmission. Customer service becomes a dance of extreme patience. You are now responsible for managing the next generation of young mechanics. You watch a kid struggle with a stripped bolt, seeing yourself 20 years ago. You step in to show him old school tricks using heat and leverage. Passing down your knowledge becomes highly rewarding. Paying rent, ordering parts, and managing payroll keeps you stressed. Your hands are clean because you spend all day doing paperwork. But sometimes, after closing, you pull your own project car into the bay. You grab a wrench, turn on some music, and remember why you love this. Level 6, the legendary specialist. You reach the absolute pinnacle of the repair ecosystem. You no longer take generic brake jobs or deal with demanding walk-in customers. Your shop is appointment only, with a 6-month waiting list. You only work on classic or niche cars that you genuinely respect. Your garage is immaculate and feels more like an operating room. You spend months meticulously rebuilding air-cooled Porsche 911 engines. You measure bearing clearances down to the thousandth of an inch. You are actively preserving automotive history for the next generation. You don't rely on modern digital scanners much anymore. You can listen to an old carburetor and adjust the fuel mixture perfectly by ear. Younger shop owners frequently call you when they are stuck. You are a highly respected walking encyclopedia of mechanical arts. You work at a relaxed pace, enjoying the quiet of your workshop. You look at your scarred hands, realizing they tell a story of dedication. The crazy stress of the early days is replaced by fulfilling peace. You are a master craftsman leaving a permanent mark.